Today on Mets Digest, we're taking the look at the latest of the Pete Alonso situation. Spoiler alert, he hasn't signed, and I'm about to lose my mind over it, but we'll give you some updates in that regards. Plus, Cookie, Carlos Carrasco signs a minor league deal with the Yankees, and we take a look at the hat game when it comes to the spring training. Hats are released for all teams, but of course, there's only one team I care about. That is the New York Metropolitans. What's going on? My name is Flobo Boyce, and you are watching Mets Digest. Thank you so much for making your way over to this YouTube channel. If you like what we're doing, myself alongside Mike D'Angelo, do me a favor, like the video, comment, let me know if I'm doing a good job, doing a horrible job, somewhere in the middle. I don't care. I read them all, and of course, follow the channel. Almost 4,000 of us are strong when it comes down to seeing how much we love the Mets Digest channel. Please make yourself a part of that community as well. So we're getting to the Pete Alonso thing quite a second. Again, hasn't signed. We're still trying to figure out what's that going to look like, but we have a bit more insight about whether or not it's going to be a reunion or not. But before we get into that, I just want to say the Mets have made their way down to St. Lucie. Camps are happening right now. I'm looking to see what that opening day roster is going to be, but the only way to do that is to go through spring training. But the drops are already out when it comes to the hats. All 30 teams got their hat release for spring training, and this is the one we're rocking for the orange and blue. I don't know about you, but I'm a fan. I think I have about 40 or 45 in my collection. It's kind of small, to be honest with you, but I'm always looking to add new colorways. And I like the fact that it was a bold choice. You can do something really lame like the Yankees and just put their logos and pinstripes, but hey, you got Mr. Met. He's on vacation. I don't see Mrs. Met. He's probably enjoying his life right now. I might cop. You let me know if this one looks good to you. A lot of old school fans are not a fan of the orange, or if you go too heavy orange when it comes to the Mets colors. But this is a very much an orange primary fitted, but I kind of dig it. I might actually get an order. I might order something. Maybe not full price. I might just wait until it's like May or something to get that for like $25. But I definitely think it's actually one of the bold ones because, again, it lends into the culture that we're trying to do here with the New York Mets. We saw the more family friendly, the more buttoned down, the more loosey goosey New York baseball franchise, and this is the next iteration of that. So, scale of 1 to 10, let me know what you think about the spring training caps below. But you clicked on this because you wanted to hear about Pete Alonso, and that's something that is totally just wrecking my brain, right? Logically, it kind of seems like it's a done deal, right? Logically, it seems Pete Alonso is going to sign with New York. There are no other teams in play. The last we heard was the Toronto Blue Jays, but yet we're still in the dark. I know on this channel I'm supposed to read the news, but I am just so upset. Like, can someone get this done already? And I thought this past Royal Rumble weekend, that we'll have some insight because former Jets quarterback Boomer Esiason was on the show saying he felt it was Pete Alonso Day. The Twitter space, the X space, blew up, lit up. Everyone's saying we're on Alonso watch. Don't remember that? This one here is transcribed from the New York Post. It actually goes into what Boomer said on Friday. And Boomer says, quote, "I'm thinking today, Friday, is the day. And I'm thinking it's going to go happen around at 10 o'clock in the morning. I want to get out in front of it," Esiason said. "As a diehard Met fan myself, I'm not so sure anymore. I want the guy at first base, Pete Alonso. I want him in the lineup. Steve Cohen has done a lot of good things for us since he's taken over ownership of the team, and this would be another one." Now, I'm not saying that Boomer Esiason is an insider, but I figured it felt pretty final. And then Friday came. And then Saturday came, and then Sunday came, and now, as I record this, it is late Monday evening, and we still are nowhere closer to the reunion. Again, there's not many teams at the table. Teams that can afford Pete, teams that don't have their own money issues, and teams that are willing to play ball are gone, with the Toronto Blue Jays reportedly not getting anywhere close to a deal over the past week. So it's going to be with New York. But how long? How much money? Now you're playing for pride now, right? How many opt-outs? I get it. We talked about this ad nauseum when it comes to Pete. Had the huge deal, turned it down, bet on himself, and then boom. And like I said a bunch of times, I bet on myself all the time. And it doesn't work out. My dad wanted me to become a lawyer or a civil engineer, but yet I do this instead. I understand when betting yourself goes wrong. But geez Louise, Mets camp was today. Pitchers and catchers report in without a week, and of course we're 5 weeks away, or about give or take, from the start of the season. If you get Pete now, you want to be able to have him ramp up to form, right? You don't want someone like Jordan Montgomery last season, who was signed so late. He had a pretty much a lost 2024. Andy Martino and SNY TV had a timeline on the main page about the things and the moves the Mets made that he has to infer could only mean a reunion with the polar bear. He writes, at that point, after the offseason, the Mets were in conversations with two tiers of relievers. One group that cost approximately $10 million, like Kenley Jansen, and one that cost half that, closer to $5 million. When the Mets reached a deal with Stanek on January 30th for $4.5 million, it signaled to him, that's Andy Martino over at SNY TV, that they were leaving room for the possibility of a pivot back to Alonso. And that is critical because one of the albatrosses on the Mets' tenure on the Cohen, it was the spending. And yes, the Dodgers doing that and they have their own problems, but we didn't really have the Dodgers' success. The Dodgers have a world championship. And so there is the Steve Cohen luxury tax, which is the top tier. You want to be able to avoid that, at least bring the payroll down over time because you can't spend forever. Steve Cohen knows that. Way smarter than I am. But the fact there's still some money on hand to use for a Pete Alonso signing just tells me that it's going to be the case. Like, again, there's not many teams that are still looking for a first baseman that can afford the kind of contract Pete is commanding. What are we doing? What are we waiting on? Is it going to be an opt-out? Is that what it is? Is it an extra year? Is it a booth? Is it a parking space? I don't know. I'm becoming a crappy old man at my age. And so I hope that gets worked out soon. And let me know what you think. Because right now, again, it is the first week of February, and we still don't have a first baseman. I know the Mark Viento's move over the first thing is things that's still being tossed around, but that's not confirmed either. There's a gaping hole in the lineup when it comes to Soto's protection, and who's going to be someone who gives us 160 games a season. I don't know. Thoughts about that. Lastly, Carlos Carrasco, who spent last season over there with the Cleveland Guardians, is back in New York, this time with a minor league deal with the New York Yankees. Or Cookie, as the homies used to call him, didn't have the best tenure in New York, but was trying to see a bit of a redemption arc for him. Sadly, it wasn't to be in Queens, and it really wasn't the case in Cleveland as well, but maybe this could be something for him. Shout out to SI.com talks about this. As on Monday, Yes Network's Jack Curry reported the New York Yankees signed veteran right-hander Carlos Carrasco to a minor league contract. Cookie pitched for the Mets from 21 to 23 after being included in that blockbuster Francisco Lindor trade, which sent Ahmad Rosario and Jimenez over to Cleveland. In 21 starts last season, he went 3-10 with a 5.64 ERA, 140 whip, and a 7.7 K9 rate over 103.2 innings. Yikes. Talk about reclamation projects, talk about redemption arcs. I wish the best for Cookie because before the OMG thing came around, he really was the biggest vibe. You remember the Cookie Club and all that? It's kind of interesting, though, to see that a man fall so far. Still has one more chance with an organization that's pretty solid when it comes to, being in the conversation of reputable teams. It's like he's like going out to an alternate league or anything. So wishing the best for Cookie, signing with the Yankees on a minor league deal. Hopefully we get to see him in the majors one last run, or maybe this season upcoming. But yes, that is it for me on this edition of Mets Digest. Someone give me an alternate location for Pete Alonso, because I am done racking my brain trying to figure out what the case is. You let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, until next time, it's LGM to the bitter end.